Hi everyone, I wanted to show you guys how to make a Google quiz using Google Forms. So the first thing you'll do is you'll log into your Google Drive. You'll click on New and then More, and then you'll see Google Forms. So you want to start with a blank template. And so that pops up and looks like this. The first thing you want to do is maybe put in a title. So we'll title this one, let's say test, right? Test form. And if you notice that it should automatically populate up here, you may want to give it a description. That's kind of optional. So you'll look at your first thing is down here where your questions are. So there's a couple of different types of questions you can choose from. So short answer, paragraph, multiple choice, checkbox, drop down, a linear scale where you can kind of rate. And there's also ones where you can do the same thing but in a grid form, and then checkbox in a grid form. Also, you can ask for a date or a time. So I'll show you what multiple choice looks like. You can ask the question, what is a cat? Right, and then here are your options. I'm just going to put letters, but this will help you kind of see. Right, so you can hit enter and it'll populate the next answer if you need it. If you say, oh, I don't really want that one, you can click over here and remove. You can add a image to the answer options and also the question itself over here. You can also add a video. All right, this is just adds more description and an additional title to the question. So that's what a multiple choice looks like. One thing you may want to do is if there's a question you have to answer, you may want to click here to make it a required question. If you want to trash it, there's there. If you really like the way the format of this question is set up, you can duplicate it and you won't have to keep creating the same format over and over. The three dots will indicate whether or not you want to shuffle this question, shuffle your option order, and I'll show you about the section thing in a second. So that is multiple choice. So I'm gonna add another question. So I click over here on the plus sign. I can add a checkbox. So instead of bubbles, right, I'll be able to check multiple answers. So maybe a multi-select question would be here if you have one of those. Let's add another one. Let's make this one a drop down, right? So this will be very similar to the multiple choice. It just will be in a drop down format. The scale, the linear scale one is maybe if you're doing a rating. So I'll show you kind of what, let's say same thing. What is a dog, right? And so this is kind of like from some number to some number. So if we went from 1 to 10, it'd be cat to dog. Okay, and I'm kind of click off of it to show you what it would look like. So you can see it's kind of like a rating. So you can rate, have a question where it's almost like a rating or a scale. That one would probably typically be used for a survey or some sort, but maybe you could turn it into a question. This next question, multiple choice grid. So this is going to be where you can add columns. So the rows will be kind of down and the columns will be across. So maybe if you're asking about several different types of things, but they still have the same categories, so you can put your categories as your columns and the things that you're talking about. That could be an option for those. Date and time are pretty simple, just a question and they have to put in a date. Same thing with time. All right, that is pretty simple as well. So those are kind of the main ways in which you will create questions. The section aspect, where they say add a section, I'll click on that and show you. It kind of splits it up. So it creates a new section. So test 2. And then you would add questions within that section. This would probably be used if you were creating something where if you answer this question on this answer on this question, you'll go to this section. Or if you answered this answer, you'll go to a different section. You can also use it if you just want to break up the quiz. Like if you just want maybe 2 questions per page, you would have 2 questions per section. So that's kind of a way you can do that. What I was talking about, if I send it to a section, so if I say go to based on answer, I can say if they click X, I want them to go to test section 2, right? So whatever, if they answered that answer, it'll send them straight to these questions down here. So that's how that works. If you want to change the way it looks, you can click on the little paint thing up there. You can change the color, you can upload an image, and that is how you do that. To say I want to change it to a blue color, it changes it to blue. Okay, if you want to preview it, there is that. And then when you are ready to send, you will click. Actually, I want to show you one thing before I go there. If you're going to do a quiz, you must make sure that you go here to quizzes and then make a quiz. All right. That will make sure that it grades it. It will allow you to select the correct answer in your answer choices. And you may want to also click to limit one response. That's another option. And you may want to shuffle your answers so that they are different every time you take them. All right. So that is that. And so when you are ready to send, you will click here. More than likely, you'll want to have a link to this so that I recommend shortening it, but you don't have to. And then the embed code is there as well if you plan on embedding. So that is pretty much the gist of how to make a Google form. When you're ready to see your responses, you'll click there and it will show you your responses. I don't have any, obviously, because no one's taken my quiz. And this, you can also click on this green button and it'll create a Google Sheet. And basically, it's a spreadsheet of all your answers. All right, thanks so much.